Hey everyone, welcome to our video on Bitcoin, and this is December 10th, 2019, and before we get started, of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just giving my opinion on the market, and you're responsible for your own trades, manage your own risk, doing your own research. And of course, we are looking always to expand our community of like-minded individuals, to give information and to share ideas, strategies, win together, lose together, and overall have a pretty good time. And if you're interested in any of that, we've got a free Discord server that we would like to have you in. So just throw in a comment, and that gets you an invite to that. If I've missed you in the past, apologies, and I can get you an invite. I'm just throwing a comment on here, and I'll get that to you. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and get started here. All right. So looking on an hourly scale, we've been kind of keeping an eye on this this what I'll refer to as a bull flag, for lack of a better term. We've been looking at this for a while. And it looks like we are finally starting to get some resolution here. We're down close to $7,200. And I've been talking about this 5,800 to 6,200 or so. I've been talking about this range for quite some time now. And I think that we are potentially going to get there. We didn't quite get to where our upside targets were, but and it could be that we don't get down here to this downside target, but we're still looking around Christmas time before we finally do get down here. So we have been talking on the Discord about the longs that have just been going parabolic. The longs are very, very high right now, but also keeping in mind that Bitfinex has increased the amount of leverage that a trader is allowed to do. It used to be their leverage was limited to 3.3x, and that was just recently moved up to um, 100x here, as of just a few weeks ago or maybe a month or two ago. But nonetheless, I believe that one of the reasons why longs have been sort of skyrocketing is because, well, one, the price has dropped significantly, and two, they have the opportunity to use more leverage now, and I think that they're taking this discount on Bitcoin, if you will, to take advantage of that. So again, looking down here at this level at at 5,800 to 6,000, maybe 6,200, we'll kind of see as things start to work themselves out. But if this is a completed flat where we've done an A, a B, and a C, we didn't quite hit this level here, which is at that would be at the 382. So that was at 7,700, which really 76.9750, and we got close to that. But we didn't quite make it. I actually missed an order of 7,700 by just a couple dollars. That was one of my layers on my shorts, which did not fill. But nonetheless, if we're going to be coming down here, let's just say for a moment, let's just take a look at this from an Elliott perspective. If we have completed a flat, we are not going to go higher, then basically what's going to be happening right now is we're basically seeing from here, we've seen a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So from somewhere down here, and I know the geometry doesn't look very good on that at all, I'm just sort of freehanding at the moment. What I'm kind of expecting to see is an ABC correction to get us kind of back up to this trend line, which sets at about 7,500. It's possible for us to get back up there, and then we're going to see a more accelerated move to the downside. And then we're going to see another correction, and then we're going to get that move, to complete our 5 waves down. All right, so this it's still too early to tell what this is going to resolve to be. I do think that we do have a move to the downside ahead in a more midterm. So we're talking closer to the end of December. I do think that there is a significant probability that we are going to be moving to the downside, and then of course once we get down here to this level, I do expect there to be significant demand down in this area. Once we get below 6,000, I expect there to be significant demand down here. I do think it will take time for this to play out. It took us a significant amount of time for us to get from this level over here up to where we kind of topped out. So that was on an hourly scale. We're talking 14 days, 13 hours, 14 and a half days for us to get up here to this point. So to say for us to complete this, it is very possible. This is 17 days away. If we're looking at the same metrics, 14 days we're looking at right here on December 23rd. We're almost to Christmas Eve at this point. So for the amount of time it took for us to go from this 3 to this proposed 4, this isn't complete, but for us to get 14 and a half days there, and then for us to take 14 and a half days, maybe a little bit longer to complete this takes us right down to where at least where we're expecting this bottom to hit. We're expecting this hot box to hit. We've got trend line support here. We've got Fibonacci support here. Lots of things that are, pointing to this being a hot zone for buys. Now, what that could mean is that we don't get there. It could mean that we get a front run, above 6,000, 6,200. Very possible for that to happen. Maybe we get a truncation down here and we just get, we stop at 6,500 again. That all still remains to be seen. We really don't know what things are going to be. But what I can say, from what I see here, we do look like we are putting in, an impulsive wave to the downside, probably to do another retest of 7,300. Now, if we take a look at this from a first wave rejection standpoint, if this is the top, let's take a look. Our 50% for us to get rejection down there, we're probably looking for a move down to 7,000 here. So move down to 7,000 and then a move up here to the 50, which would be at about 7370, maybe almost 7400. It might go up to 7450. We'll wait to see how this resolves. Then we're going to be taking a look down here to about 6650, and then we get that final leg down to 6,000 to potentially 5,800. So, layered bids and all of that. We'll see how that goes. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I see Lilo is posting something on the Discord right now. Always has some really great ideas there, and yeah, it looks like he's also looking down for a very similar zone, 5,800 to 6,000. If we get down there, it's probably not going to happen quickly, but it could happen quickly. We've seen things happen. We've seen things happen where you get $1,000 moves in a 5-minute candle, but not to say that's what's going to happen here. But if we do, I'd be very interested in closing out my short and opening up a long position down here in this zone if it happens fast. Otherwise, I'm looking down here 6,000, 5,800 for this to be our significant amount of demand, and kind of waiting for that to happen. But I do think, based on what I'm looking at here, again, I'm on an hourly, but I do tend to look at these stochastics on different kinds of time frames, knowing that we're sitting here at 72.25. We've got our hourly stoke turning to the downside. The 3 hours trying to cross up. 3 hours says we're going to be moving up, but the hourly says I'm going to go down a little bit first. We've got the 6 hour, which is down here. We've got the 2 hour down here, the 4 hour down here. So the 2, 3, and the 4 hour all down here in this zone. The 6 hour, the hourly, and the 12 hour. The 12 hourly is what I'm really focused on to show that, the trend is down, but the lower time frames are suggesting there could be a move to the upside, but the hourly is also saying extreme short term, we're probably going to be moving down. Wait to see if we can get some bullish divergence on the hourly for us to move over. Good morning, Todd. Hope you're doing good. So the hourly moving down, hopefully going to be getting some bullish divergence. And then the 3, the 4, and the 6 hour, or sorry, the 2, the 3, and the 4 hour are suggesting that we are going to be bottoming. Our market bottom detector has detected that we are bottoming out a little bit down here. That's not to say that it's always right. It's not always right, but nonetheless, it is showing that, short term, within the next day or two, probably are going to get a little bit of upside on Bitcoin. And then once we get to that point, after we move down and we'll move up in a wave to get a correction to the upside, then we're going to start probably a more accelerated move to the downside, and then we're going to start our move down to that 5,800 to 6,000 if the market allows us to get there. So that's really what I've got here. Very possible that we do see 7,000 again on Bitcoin. As we have this cluster down here, which we would likely expect there to be a little bit of defense down here at the 7,000 level, and then we'll kind of go from there. So 7,000 sitting about right here. We'll mark that off. just to see what we've got over here. We've got nice horizontal support. Nice support down here at the 7,000 level, so it is possible for us to get down here. Of course, all remains to be seen. Will take some time. Although we can get one red candle to come down here, it is likely we're going to come down to 7,000. Then likely we come back up to about 7,400 before we see that next move down to 6,500. And then we kind of take things as they go. But that's kind of what I've got here. Of course, if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to pop in the Discord. If you don't have an invite, just throw in a comment and I'll get you an invite. It doesn't cost anything. We're always looking to expand our community of like-minded individuals. We've got a lot of really great collaboration that we've seen over the last week or so. It's been nice. I've been enjoying that. Also, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We do want to expand the community, and I'm always interested in giving out my opinion, of course, on all of these different assets. But right now, my focus is going to be on Bitcoin and waiting to see what happens at the 7,000 level, and then we're going to look at 6,500, and then ultimately looking at that 5,800 to 6,000 high probability trade down there in that level for a move to the upside. Just going to kind of wait to see how it goes. But wherever you're in the world, hopefully you're having a good day, good afternoon, good evening, and I will catch you all later.